You know what? I'm actually pretty excited to make this video because as well as making it, I'm kind of finding out the information at the same time. Pretty much a tweet went out yesterday saying that PlayStation over the next sort of month or so is giving out 10 free games. Not with PlayStation Plus, not with any other service. They're just giving away 10 free games that as long as you've added them to your library, you guys get to keep forever. There's no kind of time limit on it, apart from the fact that you've only got like a month or so to actually add them. And I didn't actually see what games are in there, so we're going to kind of look at this together. And I'm pretty excited for it because one of the games that I saw was Horizon Zero Dawn. The rest of them, not too sure about. But let's get into it. So from the 25th of March, 9 games are going to be available to download for free. And then on April 19th, Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be able to download for free. The first 9 are going to be going off on April 22nd, and Horizon Zero Dawn will be disappearing on May 14th. So you've actually got quite a bit of time to add these to your library and get them downloaded and have a play. And the first one is a game called Abzu. Now, funny enough, Abzu is a game that I've actually seen. I've not played it, but it looks pretty cool. It's an underwater adventure game. It's not a massive AAA title. It is more of an indie style game. You can see with a little bit of gameplay in the background, it's nothing major. But the one thing that I will say, the reviews on this game are like crazy good. Loads of people love this game, and it's one that I'm actually pretty excited for. Now, cost-wise, it's not usually majorly expensive. It's usually like 15 quid, but you're getting it for free, and it looks like it's going to be tons and tons of fun to play. The second free game is a game called The Witness. Now, The Witness has been free before anyway, so a lot of people, chances are going to own it because it was free on PlayStation Plus. But if you haven't played it, it's a first-person puzzle game where it's a bit weird to explain because like you're in a giant garden and there's like different biomes as such, and to progress through it you have to find the puzzles, figure out ways to kind of open doors to progress into the next area and stuff. The gameplay for it is not actually that bad. If you're into puzzlers, you're going to enjoy it, and if you're looking for something new, you're going to enjoy it anyway. Again, it's not a majorly expensive game, but it is one that when I played it myself, I did actually really enjoy it. Next up, another indie game. It's one that I have seen that I wasn't too keen on myself, but again, though, it's got decent reviews, so I know a lot of people do enjoy it. And it's a game called Enter the Gungeon. Now, it is very indie style looking, and pretty much it's a dungeon crawler where you get to go around shooting, looting, dodging, rolling, and kind of progressing your way through it. It's a very pixel style game, so granted, looks wise, it's not going to be for everyone. I think that's kind of what put me off, the way that it looked. The gameplay for it doesn't look too bad. Again, it's not usually a very expensive game, it's usually like a 10 to pick up, but I'm sure tons of you guys are going to love it. Next up, a game that I absolutely love, and it's a game called Subnautica. Now, it's an amazing game with the only problem of not being multiplayer. I think that would make it perfect. But it's a horror game as well as an open world survival game, apart from you're just stuck in the middle of the ocean. Now, you can play it as though it's a survival where you're just kind of gathering and building and that sort of stuff, but if you go through the story, it's actually got quite a lot to it, to the point where when you first start playing it, you will just see it as a survival, but it's actually a full-on horror game. There is a second Subnautica as well, which isn't available on console as yet, which is tons and tons of fun to play, but Subnautica is one that you definitely need to play. If you're into your survival games, if you're into like your gathering games, it's one that you'll enjoy because it's the same thing with a difference. Rather than chopping down trees, you're underwater gathering like materials from like little rocks and shells, and you're getting chased by big, massive monster fish. It's tons and tons of fun, and it's one that I personally really love. Another indie game, a game called Res. Now, this is one that I haven't actually played or anything myself. Looking at it though, it looks alright. It's a musical rail shooter. It's not massive, it's not going to be for everyone. This came out a long time ago, but it is a game that's got really good reviews on it, so I'm sure you guys are going to absolutely love it. But granted, again, it's not going to be for everybody. We've got a VR game as well with this, which is another one that I don't actually own, and after swapping a PSVR for a Quest, a little bit gutted the fact that this is coming out for free. It's a game called Moss. This is usually like 25 quid, so you're getting a decent looking VR game for free. It's a single player action adventure puzzle game. By the looks of this game, it's got a really good looking story, it's got decent combat features, it's got world exploration, and it combines everything into virtual reality. I've seen so many people talk about this game that fully rave about it. It looks awesome. Now granted, not everyone's got a PlayStation VR. If you haven't got a VR at the moment, add it to your library anyway. But if you do pick one up and you've got some games in your library from when they've been free, at least you don't have to buy them. There's been loads that are being given away. Moss is one that you need to play anyway, so if you do pick one up, make sure you've added it to your library. Next up, another VR game. This one is Astrobot Rescue Mission. Now, one thing that I'll say is, I love this game. It's so cute and it is amazing. The features in it is just absolutely crazy. Growing up, when it comes to platformers, I always stuck with Nintendo. Mario was the go-to game. After playing Astrobot, it feels very, very similar, apart from PlayStation's take on it, different characters, different mechanics, but the really fun style of gameplay. The fact that you use like your touch controller to throw something into a wall so you can use your character to jump onto it to progress through the level is just amazing. I love the features of the game, but again, it's one that if it's not something that you'd look at playing it now, definitely add it to your library, because once you see the gameplay for it, if you don't pick it up, you will regret it, trust me. Next up, another VR game called Paperbeast. Now, again, this is one that I've heard of, but I've never actually played. It's an exploration game crossed by an adventure game. It looks quite cool, it looks quite quirky. To be honest, I don't really know much else about the game, but you can see by the trailer and stuff, it does look pretty cool. It looks like it could be worth a play. The fact that, again, though, it is another VR title, not everyone's going to be able to play it straight away, but again, make sure you add it to your library. Can't stress enough, when it comes to VR games, even if you don't own one, add them to your library so you don't miss out on them in the future. But the final one before we get on to Horizon Zero Dawn, yet another VR title. I know a lot of people are going to be annoyed that a lot of the games are for VR, but if you've got a VR, fantastic. If you don't, at least if you pick one up, you've got quite a few games kind of sat there in your library. But it's a game called Thumper. Now, this is a game that I have actually played. It wasn't the style of VR game that I enjoyed, to be honest with you. It's a rhythm action game. You can see by the gameplay, it's very quirky looking, very artsy, if you know what I mean. Not one that I enjoyed playing, but again, it's got decent reviews, so a lot of people out there do like the title. But moving on to the main thing, the main game that I think everyone's going to love, and it's Horizon Zero Dawn. It's the complete edition as well. Now, I've mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn quite a few times by the fact that I got it when it very first came out, and I got stuck on one of the bosses with the mechanics, and I kind of just gave up playing the game. With it being a single player story campaign anyway, it takes a lot to kind of keep me playing it. And this one I kind of just gave up on. I am excited for it to come for free so I can give it another try. Everyone that I know that's actually played it and spent the time on it has absolutely loved the game, and I know a lot of you guys have played it and loved it too. The fact that I gave up on it, I do kind of regret, and I can't wait to check it out again and give it that second chance. Well, all these games start to become available on March the 25th, which is next week. Keep an eye out for them when the games go free. I'll probably post gameplays and stuff as well, checking some stuff out on the games, because let's be honest, it's free stuff on PlayStation, and that's what this channel's all about. But that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you have, a like would be awesome. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.